We are back here with Stephan. Thank you, Stephan, for being patient and waiting for me. And I'm sorry about all the hiccups we had, but now we're here and you are ready, right?
Yeah, no problem. Good morning, Morten. I
Good
hope
morning.
everything is fine with you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's always very stressful when technology doesn't work, and it's funny that you asked that question because Tessitura is a company that actually makes sure that you can take all the machines that are in a printing company and connect them, right? So you should know better than most that if the technology doesn't work, it is no fun, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. Actually, our technology is not only for connecting machines. Our technology is basically connection technology between any hard and software needed in printing industry. So our aim is to have a transporting and translation medium that you can connect your MIS to your workflow system, your machines to your back to your MIS system for reporting servers, your machines to reporting services, dashboards, and stuff like that, including not only modern machines but also your classic machines.
And it's funny when you say classic machine, it goes back to the very old machines basically, because as I understand, I did an online interview with one of your colleagues some time ago, where first of all I had to understand the name, and is it pronounced Tessitura or what? How is it pronounced?
Yeah,
Okay,
Tessitura is
yeah.
correct. It's an Italian word from the Italian music language. It means the weaving, and it just describes in music language the comfort range of a singer. And we chose that word. I chose that word, and
Oh, you did.
because
So you're
it
responsible.
sounds yeah, yeah. It sounds nice, and with the explanation of the weaving factor, it also is a nice background story in what we are doing.
I actually think it has an even a layer more, because I think that most of you at Tessitura, you also play music, right?
Yes, most of our guys are musicians. I was when I 30 years ago, but most of our members are still active musicians. Yes.
Mm. So I remembered a little bit about that. So that's super nice. Stefan, the connectivity of, let's say, software, hardware, legacy machines, all the things. Uh, let's talk a little bit, because one thing is that you do this. That is maybe too complex to talk about in such a short interview like this one. But what are the advantages for the customer having this connectivity?
Oh, what is are the advantages? If you imagine you're a production leader in on the shop floor in a company, you always have to be aware where your current production is at the moment, how good is your progress and stuff like that. So you enable your production guys on the shop floor to have a transparent overview, not only from their own perspective, but also their colleagues in front of them and behind them. You have a collection of data that you can use for checking quality issues, for waste paper consumption, controlling stuff like that. Everything for exact calculations, for example, depends on numbers. And what we really know is offset printers mostly know exactly how good their presses are performing. But
Mhm.
if when you're coming to Postpress, the performance of Postpress is mostly guesswork.
Okay.
So yeah, you also can't be sure that your calculations are right, and so you have an instrument to collect the data, for example, and for controlling. Yeah,
Mm.
all
Does
the
that mean?
connection. Yeah.
So, sorry. So does that mean that when you have that data that you feed back to, for example, the MIS system, then basically you get more accurate data for making your, let's say, your hourly rate on equipment, or how much waste is actually going to be or used on the setup.
Yeah.
Is how it works?
Yeah, yes, it's one point of the system you can use it for. So we are providing this machine feedback exactly for those purposes. And on the other hand, we just a transporting service. So, for example, if you have Postgres systems, you need some input data if you want to use your automatic setup systems and stuff like that. And basically, the problem is mostly to make those interfaces between the system. There, in the
Mm.
past, they were always project-based one-to-one connections, and we try to break this a little bit up and with making a special interface to our system to each vendor. And so, if we have, for example, vendor A, vendor B, and we have already done those connection workers, a customer that wants to connect the systems from these vendors, we don't need to do anything just to connect the data transmission between them. And so the system then knows how to translate and transport the data between them. And so this will then be set up quite fast
Mm.
and
And
no more project work.
and developing, let's say, these black boxes that fits every piece of equipment, is that like, does that require a long, let's say, development time, or are there also standards within these kind of things? I mean, everybody talks about IoT and JDF and those kind of things, but that is more like in the area of newer machines, right? When we look at the legacies, that's basically where you can take, let's say that you have a new IoT equipped machine. I guess that some of the measures that you take can be read directly from the IoT interface, right?
Yes, so we are connecting to every digital interface. We don't care if it's JDF, it's a REST API, JSON. We even use industrial buses like Profinet, Modbus, TwinCut used in PLCs and stuff like that. So as long as a digital interface, even modern IoT ones, MQTT and stuff like that, we will use it if it's a vendor's choice to set in this interfaces and connect it to our system. So we are able, for example, to connect the MQTT space system on the one hand to a JDF with two workers that translate and transport the system.
Mhm. Fantastic. Stefan, Drupa, what does that mean to you and Tessitura?
What does it mean? We will, with two or three partners, I think at least two partners, show a demo installation of our connection. We will show that we can integrate the systems of our partners and transport the data in between. We will
Mhm.
also show our additional classic integration stuff like our connection box we have for integrating older machines, and also our visualizing signal sign that we so that you have like a big matrix display you can attach even to older machines or even modern machines if they don't have it, to display speed, job information, and stuff like that. So for enhancing your shop floor transparency.
And if people want to talk to you guys, where and how do they get in touch with you?
We have a booth on Drupa
Of
together with
course.
our mother company Stoiber. We are located between the main halls. I think it's between 1 and 4. So we have
Okay.
our own outside booth.
Mhm.
We will also be on our partner booths represented, and so if you look for us, you will not be able to overlook us, I guess.
Okay, and I take that it's also part why you got a new logo and new colors to make sure that people don't miss you, right?
Yes, yes. at the beginning, we just needed some starting layout and logos and stuff like that, and were more into keeping the stuff up and running. And now we had time to rethink marketing issues and stuff like that, and so came up with a new CI about that.
Fantastic. And I know that you're a relatively new company. It's a couple of years, something like that, right? Isn't it? With the
Yes,
division of
we
Tessitura, yeah,
were founded in 21.
in
Yes.
21. So how is it? Because when I spoke to a colleague, I can't remember his name right now, but I know that he's played guitar. But
Yeah.
I was just thinking that when you are like a new company in the industry, so how has the market been to you? Do they understand your product and do they appreciate what you do?
Um, how? Yes, some no. It's all in between. Mostly, they are quite when they understood what we are doing, they're quite waxed. So that they are totally and they see possibilities they haven't thought about in the past yet because there was no technology available to make something like we do happen fast and quite cheap.
Mm,
Because if you have a print shop, you normally have about 10 to 15 different hard and software systems.
mm,
To interconnect these, you would have to take a couple of 100,000 euros and maybe 1, 2, 3 years time for setting up all the project. And that is quite long, that is quite expensive. And our approach is that if we have an interface to one a machine manufacturer, as long as the interface doesn't change, we don't need to look into this connection again. And
mm,
so if we have our collection grows over the time, integration of on the shop floor will be so fast that we can even now can add additional machines at certain customers within hours.
mm.
And
So
so
there's a huge economic gain to look into Tessitura and your products. So sounds super great, Stefan. I want to thank you very much for coming in. I know it was a little bit of a last minute because I spoke to your colleague and he was out doing something else, and then you fortunately could put yourself for available for me and for our audience. So I want to thank you very much, and for audience. Go to Drupa, go visit Tessitura and talk to Stefan and his team. I'm pretty sure that when you get the right data, you can only make more educated business decisions. So thank you very much, Stefan.
yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.